1 2 check 1 2 1 2. What up? It's Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, y'all, welcome to our Wednesday edition of the Trent Out Loud show. Congratulations, we have all made it to Hump Day. All right, okay, I have a jam-packed show. You thought yesterday's show was good, wait till you see today's. All right, we have a lot going on in today's news stories. First, we're going to kick things off with giving you a recap of what has transpired over the past 24 hours in Iran. Congress is set to intervene, and also there is talks about boots on the ground in Iran. Military commanders tells troops that Donald Trump was anointed by Jesus. China and Nato are getting involved in the Iran battle. We have a video that shows you how incredible it is, the fact that Iran could even strike Israel. There are predictions that the U.S. will lose to Iran and the American economy will burst. U.S. begins its military operation in Ecuador. The president of Spain responds to Donald Trump. We also have a video from Nick Fuentes saying for everybody to vote Democrats in the midterm election. Kristi Noem buys a luxury jet and tells everybody, I did it to save taxpayers money. Also, yesterday, there was voter suppression in Dallas. Bill Gates and others get called to testify in front of the Epstein Oversight Committee. The DOJ deletes 47,000 Epstein files, and ChatGPT is losing millions of subscribers over their Pentagon deal. As always, right after all of that, we're going to come to the comment section and speak to you guys exactly like we did yesterday. And then we have a great social discussion. Officer pulls over a black mother handing her son a cup of coffee. I told y'all we have a jam-packed show. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs, radio, your devices up. Everybody made it to Hump Day Wednesday. Let's go. And I'm about to start this show. Let's go. Welcome to everybody. Congratulations. We made it to Hump Day Wednesday. Y'all know this is the day of the week where I kick things off. I kick down the countdown, or I kick off the countdown until the weekend. Tomorrow, Friday Eve, and then finally we all get to pack it up and enjoy our weekend. All right. Like I said at the top of the show, we got a big show to get to. Before I go, very, very quick programming note. Shout out to everybody who is joining, streaming on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. For those of you who are on YouTube, we have two streams. We have a mobile stream. You'll see a phone icon and an M in brackets. If you are on your mobile, you can either use the TV or computer or the mobile one. You can use two streams on your phone. The mobile one will look like Instagram and TikTok. The TV one, you got to rotate your phone. However you want to watch, you watch. For those of you who are at home on your TV, or if you're on your road in your laptop or an iPad, do not use the mobile. Stick with the TV and laptop original stream, okay? If you see me on your TV or your computer screen, I got two black boxes here. You're on the wrong stream. Do not use the mobile app. Only if you're on the mobile, on a mobile, use your mobile app. All right. Now that we got that covered, we really have a lot to cover. We're going to jump right into a recap over the past 24 hours in the Iran and U.S. war that has now spread out to having a lot more countries involved. We're going to break that down. As you guys know, since Monday, we here at the Trent Out Loud Show have made a decision to cover the Iran war differently than what you see on mainstream media, what you're seeing on MSNBC, Fox, and CNN. We're going to give you guys what's really happening from influencers that are not worried about advertisers and about glossing over what's going on, all right? So some of the things might be shocking, some of the things you may not have heard, but that is the point why you are on YouTube, all right? So let's get to a recap of the past 24 hours. Here it is.
The Navy has basically been fully destroyed, as well as all their air defenses and fighter jets. And Trump now says the U.S. Navy will forcibly reopen the Strait of Hormuz. But why haven't we won yet? Well, the Iranians' missiles have been doing a lot of damage on American bases. And I really mean a lot of damage that's going to take a lot of money and years to fix. But what have we done? Because bombing the Capitol relentlessly for 4 days in a row has really meant nothing. And not to mention some of the American and Israeli missiles that hit the wrong target, such as these 2 girls. 3 down fighter jets, 6 Americans that are no longer with us. All of our oil in the Middle East is just up in flames right now. Oil prices through the roof. The Russians making a lot of money. Really, what exactly is the goal? We took out the leadership of Iran like we said we would do, but now we have a country of 90 million people that are vowing to fight us and never surrender. So now we're going to have to go into Iran in a ground invasion against the army that is around 2 million men strong. The biggest country in the Middle East, the most mountainous country in the Middle East, just like Afghanistan, but just like 5 times the size. What exactly is a win anymore?
In Tel Aviv with this breaking news, an Iranian missile we have just learned has hit the largest U.S. military base in the Middle East. Now, this news is just coming into CNN. Here's what we know this very moment. Qatar says an Iranian ballistic missile has struck Al Udeid Air Base, as I said, the biggest American base in the region.
Some breaking news. Israel has been embarrassed like we've never seen before. Well, they just bombed an Iranian helicopter, but it's not what you think. In fact, the Israeli army released this footage, thinking it was a gotcha moment, and we have destroyed this Iranian helicopter. But when you look into this a little bit longer, you can see that something doesn't add up. Quite clearly in the footage, the Israeli bomb lands on the helicopter and you would expect it to blow it to pieces. However, the helicopter doesn't move, and there's a clear reason for this. This helicopter isn't actually a helicopter. This helicopter is a painting on the ground on the tarmac in Iran to look like a helicopter. Now, there's a reason Iran would have done this. This missile that Israel dropped would have cost millions and millions of pounds, and a lot of money would have gone into hitting this helicopter. And so Iran just did this to cost Israel money and waste a missile. Iran has obviously hidden their helicopters, and Israel doesn't know where they are. This shows 2 things. Not only is Iran tricking Israel and using decoys by painting the ground so that Israel wastes their weaponry, but it also shows that Israeli intelligence is not good enough to know where Iran's actual helicopters are. And by virtue of the fact Israel posted this footage online bragging about it, and then it turns out to be a painting on the road, shows that is true. And so, I don't think there's any recovering from this. Israel has made a big mistake by publishing this footage. They've bombed a painting.
The Americans and Israelis are carpet bombing Tehran right now and many other cities. Here's your 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time update. The bombing of Iran has now escalated and carpet bombing of the capital looks to be occurring. But that is not stopping the Iranians from firing off some ballistics on Tel Aviv. Reports now is that the Americans are giving guns to the Kurdish groups in Iran to try to spark some civil war to start fighting on the ground. Essentially cause as much chaos as possible because bombing the population to hell isn't really doing anything. You would have thought we would have learned that from Afghanistan and Iraq. They just hate you even more. Israelis can bomb Tehran all they want, but that's not going to stop the ballistic missiles because the military is working in a decentralized way right now. Meaning that there's no one up top giving the order. Instead, they're kind of on their own in a country 3 times the size of Iraq. Thousands of troops with thousands of missiles buried in the mountains that we really haven't found yet. And though the missile launches from Iran are getting less and less each day, the American plan is getting more and more confusing and failing. For Iran, it's always been about surviving. They don't really have to win, they have to survive and prevent an Israeli government taking over your country. And so far as of now, Iran is surviving, and actually the Americans just carpet bombing everything, making Iran's survival more likely, like an Afghanistan type situation. Remember, Israel will accept nothing less than a total regime change of Iran. So if everything keeps failing to do so, American troops are going to have to try to go in and occupy the country, and that will be a disaster.
Some breaking news. Iran just fired another wave of missiles at Israel, but these ones that seem to be even more powerful than the ones they used last night. For context, last night Iran was using missiles which would break up into 80 smaller missiles in the air to get around Israeli air defense systems and cause as much damage as possible. And they caused a huge amount of damage to Israel. You probably saw my video on that. But tonight, as we move into the 4th night of this war, Iran seems to be using even more powerful missiles. All the way out through today, after those attacks attacks last night, Iran has been using heavy hypersonic missiles to cause huge amounts of damage to Israel, not the ones that break up into smaller pieces. These ones cause huge damage. It would suggest that the Israeli Iron Dome defense system is out of air defense interceptors, and now Iran has basically got a clear field to do all of the damage that they want without the risk of their missiles being shot down. And that's what we seem to be happening tonight. And so the next wave of missiles has been launched towards Israel as we move into the fourth night of this war.
All right. There was a lot of information there. But just like yesterday, what I think content creators and what YouTubers are point that we're trying to get across, different from mainstream media, is this is a David and Goliath. This is Ukraine versus Russia. And you heard somebody say there, it's not like Iran has to defeat the US. That would be impossible. But if they could prevent them from doing things, that's what they're doing. So you see things like, okay, we don't have as advanced technology as you do. Okay, but we're going to put a painting of a helicopter on the ground and make you waste your missiles on that, right? We're going to, a video I played for you yesterday, we're going to throw out some like cheap missiles. You're going to have to spend $14 million to intercept each missile. So they're just literally trying to wear down the US. They're trying to wear down Israel to make it not seem like, oh, you can't just come over and take us over in 24, 48 hours. Remember, we're on our fourth day, and there is a huge advancement that Iran has made, okay? And not only that, there is a lot of people in Congress that are saying the operation is not going good. The operation and Congress, the Trump administration, is not being honest with the American people. And to actually even win this war, we might have to put boots on the ground. Listen to this.
Squarely within the law. He used his discretion and his authority and the intelligence that he had, exquisite as it was, as it's demonstrated by its effectiveness, and he did what he should have done as a commander-in-chief. The idea that a few colleagues here would try to move a war powers motion and resolution to the floor right now is dangerous. Imagine a scenario where Congress would vote to tell the commander-in-chief that he was no longer allowed to complete this mission. That would be a very dangerous thing. You see that Iran is firing almost seemingly indiscriminately at targets. They're trying to intimidate America. They're trying to test our resolve. And the idea that there's some members of this legislative body that would play along with that plays right into the hands of the enemy. And I think it's shameful. I do believe we have the votes to defeat it. I certainly hope we do, because we have lots of troops, service members in harm's way right now. And the balance of this thing is hanging there. It's been very effective thus far. It needs to be completed. We don't need Congress getting in the way of that.
I just left a classified briefing on Iran. And here's what I can say. It is so much worse than you thought. You are right to be worried. Trump administration has no plan in Iran. This illegal war is based on lies, and it was launched without any imminent threat to our nation. Donald Trump still hasn't given a single clear reason for this war, and he seems to have no plan for how to end it either. Like a lot of you, I am really angry. I am angry at what Donald Trump is doing, and I feel grief for those already killed in this unnecessary conflict. And I will keep doing everything I can to fight to end this war.
Watch this disturbing news. A U.S. senator just got out of a closed-door meeting with the Trump administration and said he fears that we will be putting boots on the ground in Iran and that this war isn't ending anytime soon. Take a look.
I just want to say I am more fearful than ever after this briefing that we may be putting boots on the ground and that troops from the United States may be necessary to accomplish objectives that the administration seems to have. But I also am no more clear on what the priorities are going to be of the administration.
The Trump administration clearly has no idea what they're doing. Donald Trump thought he could go in there, quickly bomb Iran, take out their supreme leader, and just get out, take an off-ramp. The complete opposite has happened. Donald Trump now knows he is escalating the situation. Iran will not sign a ceasefire because we've hundreds of their civilians in just this conflict alone. They don't want peace with America right now. And so this will absolutely spiral into a bloodier conflict thanks to Donald Trump.
All right. I can't wait to come to the comment section because the past couple of days there's been a lot of MAGA, there's been a lot of Republicans, and y'all know I love to have that discussion. And one of the discussions were, hey, don't play leftists, don't play, influencers that are, Democratic leaning. Very important to note when we get to that discussion, those two people that were just speaking are members of Congress coming from a closed door meeting saying that Trump has made mistakes. The Trump administration not so much is losing, but they feel like they're not advancing to the capabilities that they thought they were able to do. So much so that they might have to put boots on the ground. Now, literally 5 or 10 minutes before I got on air, I heard Donald Trump at a press conference and somebody asked him, how do you feel the war is going? If you had to rate it on 1 to 10, what did Donald Trump say? I give it a 15. This man said a 15. I just showed you video proof of the advances that little Iran is making against Israel and the supreme power of all powers, the US. The things that they were blowing up, the trickery that's going on, and Donald Trump has the nerve to sit down and tell the American people, I give it a 15 on 10. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I want to make sure I read it right, but if I'm not mistaken, he says that it's been exciting. No, it's not. You are losing ground, sir. Okay. We are going to go now to China and NATO being involved, and then I'm going to play a video for you that is shocking. It breaks down. It's a quick video. It's 1 minute, and it shows you how it's almost next to impossible for Iran to even get a missile to strike and land in Israel. It will literally blow your mind to show you how many obstacles their missile has to get through. And once you see the obstacles, you're going to see why people are giving Iran so much credit for actually even being able to strike even one missile in Israel. Now, don't get me wrong. Nobody's voting or hoping that Iran strikes Israel. We're not saying that. We're just literally showing you the facts and receipts of really what is going on, okay? So let's go into China and NATO getting involved. Take a listen to this.
News, China has threatened to join the war with Iran because of what Iran just did. But first, China said, quote, China urges all parties to immediately cease military operations. And you need to know why China is so bothered. Well, 2 days ago, Iran announced they're closing the Strait of Hormuz, which is one of the most important waterways in the world, where almost 30% of global oil supply flows through to reach other countries. Well, something you need to know is that China gets a huge percentage of its oil from countries where it has to come through the Strait of Hormuz. And because it's now closed, China no longer has a big oil supplier. And this is a huge threat to China. Obviously, China is a massive global economy. And if they can't get any oil, they're screwed. China would probably be happier going to war to try and open the Strait of Hormuz than trying to find a new oil supplier and sort out their economy. And because of this, China is now incredibly mad, and they've threatened that if these countries do not stop fighting and Iran does not open the Strait of Hormuz, then China might have to get involved. And then things will really be escalating, because not only the US will be attacking Iran, but we could be looking at China saying this is a red line, and it would be the first conflict China is involved in, to my knowledge, ever really in the last 100 years. And so leave me a follow, because if China gets involved, this is a big deal.
Okay guys, major breaking news. This war has now officially entered Asia. We're unlocking new parts of this map every day, so 140 people are currently missing after a US submarine has sunk an Iranian Navy ship with a torpedo in international waters off the coast of Sri Lanka. Now, important detail, this is the first time that America has sunk an enemy ship using a torpedo since World War II. And if you guys are wondering where Sri Lanka is, here. This is the Indian Ocean. Everything that's usually been happening in kind of the war zone of 3,000 miles was about here. Now, we're entering this territory. Ain't no way. Now, this was confirmed by the U.S. Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, saying that America is winning decisively, devastatingly, and without mercy. 180 people were reportedly on this boat, ship. It's not a boat. And so far, 32 people have been rescued, with 140 more currently missing. I think we kind of get the point of what's happened to them. Hey guys, breaking news. NATO is now involved. They have just said that one of the member states has been targeted by Iran. So according to Turkey's defense ministry, they said that NATO air defense systems had to shoot down an Iranian missile that was traveling towards their airspace. And a fragment of that missile has fallen into an open area in southern Turkey. Now, fortunately for the escalation of this war, there was no loss of life or injuries reported. A NATO spokesperson has come out and told CNN that they condemn Iran's targeting of Turkey, and they said that they stand firmly with all allies. Turkey's defense ministry then said that we reiterate that we reserve our right to respond to any hostile act directed towards our country. This is believed to be the first time that NATO has got involved. History yet again.
All right. NATO getting involved, saying, hey, yo, y'all cool it there a little. That's a little warning shot. Slow your roll, Iran. And China saying, listen, y'all are not going to play with our money. Like we've been talking about since Monday, this is always about oil. Regime change is about oil. China being involved is about oil. It's all money. You start playing and affecting with these superpowers' money, it's going to be a problem. We're going to get World War III, and we already talked about that on Monday. It's not here yet. China gets involved. NATO starts getting ramped up. Things are going to get crazy. This is going to seem like this is a play date between the US and Iran. Okay. Now, let me go next to the video that literally blew my mind when I saw it. Look at the difficulties that Iran has to go through to strike one missile in Israel. Look at this.
Fires 10 missiles at Israel, and even one of those missiles successfully hits its target. It would be considered a major success for Iran, because targeting Israel from Iran is extremely difficult. As soon as Iran launches missiles, they are first targeted by American Patriot defense systems deployed in Iraq, where the United States has military bases. The missiles that survive this phase then enter the airspace of Syria and Jordan. By that time, Israeli Air Force fighter jets are already mobilized, and they enter Syrian airspace to try to intercept and shoot down the missiles. We know that Jordan is also assisting Israel, and Jordan itself attempts to intercept the missiles to prevent them from reaching Israel. Despite all this, the missiles that get close to Israel's borders are then targeted by American naval warships deployed in the Mediterranean Sea. Any missiles that still manage to enter Israel must then face Israel's 5-layered defense system, which includes Arrow missile system, THAAD system, Patriot system, David Sling, Iron Dome. Remarkably, despite all these defensive measures, some Iranian missiles still manage to evade the defense systems and ultimately strike cities such as Tel Aviv and Haifa.
Okay. So this is what I've been trying to explain to you guys. Iran does not have the capabilities, the missiles, the technology that Israel and the US have. But as long as they have a missile that could at least just get in the air, and we explained to you yesterday that they have one that goes up and then splits into 80, all of those defenses, the planes, the ships that are trying to intercept these not so amazing missiles, one just has to get through. And you know how much money it literally costs? Whether something is a supersonic, incredible technology missile or just a normal rinky-dink missile, it still costs the same amount to defend it and shoot it out the air. That is how Iran is winning. And again, please do not misunderstand me and think that I'm applauding them or rooting for them in any way possible. I do not want to hear that in the comment section. All I'm just trying to tell you is strategy. And their strategy is smart. You're going up against a superpower. You're going up against somebody who you can't defeat. What are you going to do? You're just going to throw up crappy missiles and have them waste all of their money and all of their energy shooting down my crap out the air. Whether it's a $10,000 missile or a $50 million missile, it's the US and Israel have to spend millions of dollars to shoot it out the air, and it's a smart strategy. Okay, let's go over now to let's get over to this military commander saying that Donald Trump was appointed by Jesus. And then I'm going to play a video for you of a professor that is going to break down this war and saying and predicting that the US will lose this war and how this will expose and burst the US economy. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go to the US economy first one because this is amazing to see. It's 2.5 minutes, but please pay attention because what he's saying is logical. And I'm not saying his prediction will 100% be right. But if you listen and you've been watching what's been going on for the past 72 hours, he has some strong points. And I really want to know what you guys think. Take a listen, and then we'll go over to the Donald Trump being appointed by Jesus. Take a listen.
3 big predictions. 1, that Trump would win. 2, that he would start a war with Iran. And 3, that the U.S. would lose that war. It's quite a stunning prediction. Do you stand by it?
The reality is that right now, it's a war of attrition between the United States and Iran. And the Iranians have been preparing 20 years for this conflict. And now they have a pretty good strategy of how to weaken and ultimately destroy the American empire. So what the Iranians are doing is they're waging war against the entire global economy. And so they are striking the GCC countries. They're going after the critical energy infrastructure. They blocked off the Strait of Hormuz. And eventually, they will go after the water desalination plants, which is the lifeblood of these nations because they don't have fresh water supply. The Iranians are actually threatening the very existence of Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar. And why this is important is that the Gulf states are really the linchpin of the American economy. So what they do is they sell petrodollars and then they recycle the petrodollars back into the American economy through the investments in the stock market. And right now, we know that the entire American economy is propped up by AI investments in data centers. And a lot of that comes from the Gulf states. So if the Gulf states are no longer able to sell oil and they're no longer able to finance AI, this AI bubble in the United States, then this AI bubble will burst, and with it will burst as well the entire American economy, which is really a financial Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, sir, an Amazon data center was literally hit in the UAE. Now, we also wanted to talk to you about munition. The United States is racing to accomplish Iran mission before munitions run out.
The United States military is not designed to fight a 21st century war. Remember, the military-industrial complex came to being after World War II, and it was designed to fight the Cold War. And the Cold War was really about muscle flexing, who was to first get the person on the moon. And so the entire American military strategy revolves around very sophisticated technology that costs a lot of money to build. And that's what the American air defense system is. And that's why we're seeing this asymmetry in this war, where you have these $1 million missiles trying to take out these $50,000 drones. And it's not sustainable in the long term. And so what we're seeing is really the puncturing of the aura of invincibility that sustained American hegemony for the past 20 years.
Think about what he's saying and tell me it doesn't make sense. Iran literally just has to hit countries that are in the Gulf area that supply all the oil everywhere. They have to shut down a canal that 30% of the oil that's export to the world go through that little channel of Vermouth, I think it's called. And the fact that they just shut that down, that got China saying, yo, what's going on here? They are being so strategic. The US and Donald Trump, you know how Donald Trump is. We have the biggest army in the world. We have 20 that stealth plane, I think it's the B-52 that goes undetected. They could drop all the biggest bombs and crazy stuff in the world. But if Iran could stop the flow of oil and stop the flow of money and expose that AI bubble, what happens then? Again, I'm not saying it's going to work and I'm not rooting for it to work. I'm just saying when your back is up against the wall, you think of the necessity is the mother of all invention. The U.S. has all the money in the world. They have an easy strategy. Their military was built for destruction. And you know that is Donald Trump. We'll bomb everybody. But when you're in need, when you're hungry, when you got no food and you got no money, trust me, you think in different ways, in different patterns. And sometimes that could be your advantage. Just think about it. I cannot wait to discuss that with you guys in the comment section. Now, let's go to this military commander that swears that Donald J. Trump was anointed by Jesus himself to start this war in Iran. Take a listen.
News right now, a United States military commander is alleged to have told their troops below them that Donald Trump was anointed, quote, anointed by Jesus to lead the United States into war with Iran. This is follow-up reporting to the prior report that essentially the Huffington Post cited and others that the war in Iran was biblically divine, essentially invoking Christianity into the war. I want you to look at this email that was sent to the Military Religious Freedom, a nonprofit whistleblower organization that's exposing the quote, Mr. Weinstein, thank you for taking my calls and calls of some of my colleagues as to what happened earlier this morning in our combat unit. I am a blank in our unit. This morning, Commander opened up combat readiness status briefing by urging us not to be afraid as to what is happening with combat operations in Iran. He urged us to tell our troops that this was all part of God's divine plan. And he specifically referenced numerous citations out of the book of Revelation referring to Armageddon and the imminent return of Jesus Christ. He said that President Trump has been anointed by Jesus to light the signal fire in Iran to cause Armageddon and mark his return to earth. He had a big grin on his face and said all of this, which made his message even more crazy. This is pretty crazy stuff. I'll have more updates for you soon. Feel free to go read the full report on the Huffington Post website. They did a write-up on it as well. Spread the word.
Absolutely crazy. I always say this every time I talk about Trump supporters. I have never seen support that is that extensive. Like, to the delusion that some MAGA followers and Republican and Donald Trump people, it needs to be studied. And I don't mind MAGA supporters, but I just told you guys yesterday, my neighbor who I'm very, very close with is a starch MAGA supporter. But he's not ready to jump off the cliff and say that he was anointed by Jesus. I have a video for you of Nick Fuentes, who is a stark MAGA Republican, saying like, this is crazy. It needs to be studied. Okay, let's go on now to the U.S. being having military operations in Ecuador. Now, a lot of people are, I think, using this opportunity to kind of highlight Donald Trump. But if you listen to this report carefully, you'll see that Ecuador military and government are side by side. So everyone's looking, saying, Trump is in Iran, Trump is in Venezuela, Trump wants to go to Cuba, and now he's in Ecuador. This man wants to take over the world. Listen to the report carefully, okay?
I have some news right now. The United States military has launched operations in Ecuador this evening. Alongside Ecuadorian military officials, the United States Southern Command has announced that U.S. military forces launched operations against, quote, designated terrorist organizations in Ecuador. So you have U.S. military personnel operating now in Ecuador. You had U.S. military personnel operating in Venezuela. You have U.S. military personnel operating in Iran. You had U.S. military operating in Nigeria. And that doesn't include the many other countries where in the past year the United States military has conducted airstrikes across the world. Now, tonight's military operations in Ecuador are being conducted alongside the Ecuadorian military. And Southern Command says that they are taking, quote, decisive action to confront narco-terrorists who have long inflicted terror, violence, and corruption on citizens within the hemisphere. Spread the word. Follow for more.
You cannot,
Side Ecuadorian military.
You cannot fault President Trump and his administration when the report is they're alongside the Ecuadorian military, meaning that the government is thankful for the administration to be there. Now, can you say that Trump is, spreading the military thin? You could say that, but that is exactly what people like about Donald Trump and his administration is they get things done. They are not slacking off. They are not sitting back saying, yeah, we won. Okay, yeah, we're in control. They're getting things done. Now, is it for Donald Trump's own, like there's a reason why he's there, just like there's a reason why he's in Iran and there's a reason why he's in Venezuela. But I just think a lot of people are missing the fact that the Ecuadorian military are side by side working together to go after the terrorists. Okay. Now let's jump over to a follow-up story. Yesterday, I told you guys about Donald Trump sitting down and saying that he wants to cut off ties with the president of Spain, or sorry, just Spain in particular, because of the decisions from the president. He said that he wanted everybody, all the NATO countries, to go from 2% to contribute 5%. And he said the only NATO country that did not want to join is Spain. And then he also said that Spain doesn't want to allow the U.S. To use their naval bases. And then he said, I don't even care what they say. I'll go and use it if I want to. Again, some people look at that and say, this is not the kind of diplomacy that we want from the U.S. And some people are going to look and say, I like that my president will just go and take over anyone's naval base. That is up to you to decide. Here is a follow-up of what the president of Spain had to say. Take a listen.
So Donald Trump just announced he is ceasing trade and all relationships with Spain. The reason being that Spain would not allow the U.S. to use the joint bases in the attack on Iran. He called Spain terrible, said they were uncooperative, they were just awful, then kind of issued a veiled threat saying, well, we could use the bases if we wanted to, no one would stop us. And I have always loved Spain, but I love them even more now. But I wanted to read a quote from the Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez, because I think this really catches the temperature of what's going on with Iran, how two truths can exist at once, and really the attitude of, I think, most people regarding the conflict in Iran. Prime Minister Sanchez gave a speech in Barcelona on Sunday saying, today more than ever, it's vital to remember that you can be against a hateful regime as Spanish society as a whole when it comes to the Iranian regime, and at the same time against an unjustified and dangerous military intervention that is outside of international law. Exactly. In the few days that since this happened, we have already had confirmation that there was no U.S. intelligence that said Iran was close to having a nuclear weapon or that they were planning any kind of attack. This is an unjustified attack, and you can be against a terrible, abusive regime and also understand that this is an unjustified attack that they're actively lying about for their own self-interest. If we were really interested in things like democracy, there are so many places in the world where women can't go outside. The Taliban just passed a law allowing women to be beaten by their husbands provided he doesn't break bones. But not only has the U.S. not intervened, we haven't even said anything, because this isn't about democracy. It's not about right and wrong. It's not about oppression, but it's about questions of sovereignty. Do other nations have sovereignty even when the U.S. has a vested interest in taking over or managing their resources for them? So I think that Prime Minister Sanchez captured that perfectly, that you can be against an abusive totalitarian regime and also be against abuses of power coming from outside that regime.
So basically, yeah, I don't think things are going to get better between Spain and President Trump. We shall see. Okay. Now, the second video that I'm very excited to play for you guys is Nick Fuentes. Now, I think if I'm not mistaken, it was Derek who I was having a conversation with by saying that, yo, there's some Republicans that are saying, yo, you need to vote Democrat. And I shouldn't call Derek out because I'm not sure who it was. Somebody in the comment section said, Republicans are not going to vote Democrat. Here's Nick Fuentes saying how disappointed he is, how disappointed MAGA is in what is going on with Donald Trump and his administration. And I like to see people who are supporters, but then could also call somebody out, the way how I will call out Donald Trump, how I will call out Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. Anybody could get it. That is the way that you are supposed to have an opinion, in my opinion. But some of y'all want to be biased. Take a listen to Nick Fuentes.
Horrifying. And so, but I can't sign on to covering up Epstein. I can't sign on to World War III. And so that's why I tried to promote the optimism, because I hate this, man. Like, I want to fix the country. I want to turn it around. So it's not that I was delusional. And I still hope we can turn it around, but I just, sorry, go ahead. You get what I'm saying?
I get it. And listen, totally unraveling. It's an utter and complete betrayal. It's heartbreaking in many ways. It's okay to have hope. I mean, we hope for a better future, but we got to be brutally honest about what this administration. We need in 2026 for this administration to be shut the down. What does this administration do other than cover up the Epstein files, embezzle money through government contracts, and bring us to war for Israel? This administration needs to be shut down immediately. Do not vote in the midterms, and if you do, vote for Democrats.
That is crazy coming from Nick Fuentes. If you guys don't know who Nick Fuentes is, after the show, Google him, okay? There is nobody more on the right than Nick Fuentes. All right? Another MAGA Republican lost by the Trump administration. I don't see any path in the midterms for the Republicans to win if things stay the way they are. Talking about Trump and talking about his administration, we're going to play you a video from Kristi Noem, head of the DHS, that between her, Pam Bondi, and Kash Patel, I don't understand how they are still employed. This is ridiculous. We have seen mistake after mistake after mistake in Minnesota, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And at her Congress meeting, they showed her a video of a plane that she bought. Listen to her excuse of why she needed a plane it's a luxury jet, by the way, okay, that has a bed and a conference room. Listen to the reason why she is telling us that she needed to buy this luxury plane. Take a listen.
Explain this.
Sir, I'm looking at a picture of an interior. Looks like a bedroom.
Of an airplane.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. If you're referring to the airplanes that the Department of Homeland Security has purchased and are purchasing, we're using them for long-range command and control aircraft that is dictated in statute by Congress for the Department of Homeland Security to have a plane.
Luxury jet with a bedroom in it?
Yeah, we used a 737. I've been on it once, but it is being used by other administration officials, and it is used for command and control flights for the department. The department has found that in purchasing our aircraft, that we will save the taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars.
What kind of deportee justifies being flown out of the country in a luxury jet with a bedroom and accommodations like this?
There are aircraft being purchased that will be utilized for executive air travel and for deportations.
Well,
if you remember in the past, we have used jets of this size and this configuration for deportations in the past. If you remember
this configuration, by this configuration, you mean with a bedroom and luxury accommodations like this?
Yo, I would have preferred she said, yo, I use that every day. She's like, I used it once. I would have preferred she said, yo, I use that every day. That's why I need the bed. You know what I mean? I have a hard job. I work 18 hours a day. I need a bed. I need to relax. So I got stress. So excuse me if I'm working while y'all are sleeping, but I need a little bit of luxury to just chill out. You're going to buy that to deport people on and you let you use it one time? This is just embarrassing. It speaks for itself. Like, it speaks for itself. Anyways, let's move on now to something that happened last night in Dallas. We got a sneak peek of voter suppression. We got a sneak peek at the SAVE Act. We got a sneak peek of what will happen in the midterms. And what I love is two parties went against each other. One lost and the other one won. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Shout out to Jasmine Crockett for bowing out gracefully, but still talking about voter suppression. Take a listen to this.
Witnessed real life voter suppression in Dallas County today at Harry Stone Recreation Center. I want to make it very clear that Harry Stone Recreation Center nor staff had anything to do with what I witnessed. This is solely an issue with the Board of Elections, I believe. I was told by the poll workers that they were informed when they showed up to work the poll this morning that the location that they were at had been changed on the same day from from being a location where both Democratic and Republican primaries could be voted on to a Republican-only location. The voters nor the workers were notified of this change prior to arriving at the recreation center to vote. The poll worker let me know that about 50% of the people who came to vote were not Republican only and had to be turned away. And so the chances of those Democratic primary voters going back to find another location to vote are slim to none. This whole thing is so shady.
The place where I live is far away, and I just wanted to vote here and get back to work, and she told me she wouldn't let me. I was hoping she'll just let me go in. She said I'm at the wrong place. I can't vote here.
I've always voted here, say, 8 years in a row now. I've come to this location, but now they're telling me that I need to go to another location to vote.
Did they explain why?
No, they didn't explain why. And then when I went online yesterday, because I knew they were going to try to do this, I went yesterday online to register and everything like that to find out what where my poll is, and it got me nowhere.
Tonight, our campaign is shocking the nation. We are still waiting for an official call, but we are confident in this movement we've built together. Every vote must be counted. Every voice must be heard. The voter suppression in my home county and in Congresswoman Crockett's home county underscores the gravity of this moment.
None of the returns out of Dallas County are quite in yet. Dallas County should have the second largest voter participation of any county in this state. We don't have any of the results because there was a lot of confusion today. And so, you know, our Democratic Party chair, Cardall Coleman, he beat me to the punch, as myself and Colin Allred. We're about to file a lawsuit to keep the voting polls open. We were able to keep the polls open, but I can tell you now that people have been disenfranchised. The reason that we knew that there were problems is because we were receiving the phone calls and the emails. The Supreme Court, just a few minutes ago, just said, shut it down. The Supreme Court also said that they are to separate any votes out that came in after 7 p.m.
All right, I want to give you guys some context to this and explain to you guys what's going on, okay? Jasmine Crockett says she is filing a lawsuit after the Texas Supreme Court ordered Democratic primary voters in Dallas County that they were casted after 7 p.m. to be separate from not counted. So that is votes in Dallas County that were casted after 7 p.m., okay, to be separated and not counted. Poll hours were supposed to be extended until 9 p.m. via a court order, but the reversal by the Supreme Court says that the Texas Attorney General's office was not properly notified about the extension. William County, however, had polls open until 10 p.m. So one court, because of the video I played for you in the beginning, people were confused. They don't know what's going on. You go to one court and they're like, okay, because of the confusion, no problem. You guys can open till 9. Let's give them an opportunity. Supreme Court comes and is like, no. Stop. You're not allowed to do that. And any vote casted after 7 p.m. can't be counted. How do you know which is which? There's no timestamp on there. It's a full disaster. And this is exactly what people have been saying that is going to happen in the midterms. This is just in Dallas. Imagine in the midterms when this is nationwide. It is going to be crazy. And we don't have that much time to fix it and put everything together. Okay. Next, let's go on to talk about some Epstein stuff. Bill Gates has been called out to come to testify in front of the Epstein Oversight Committee, and also Jay-Z. Let's go to Bill Gates and Epstein. Take a listen to this.
Major Epstein news. The House Oversight Committee, which is investigating Epstein, is now requesting 7 interviews with wealthy, powerful people, including Bill Gates, as part of their investigation. The House Oversight Committee, which is currently run by Republicans, said today that Chairman James Comer is seeking testimony regarding Epstein from Doug Band, Bill Gates, Leon Black, Leslie Groff, Sarah Kellen, Kathleen Rumler, Ted Waite. They say our investigation continues to uncover the truth about the Epstein network. Now, this is great. They're voluntary interviews, meaning that they don't have to come in. They haven't been sent subpoenas. But I noticed some names are missing off of this list. Where's Donald Trump or the people around Donald Trump that knew Jeffrey Epstein and had a lot of contact with him? We now know that Howard Lutnick is volunteering to testify before the committee, and I don't think he's doing this out of the goodness of his heart. I think he was going to get subpoenaed, and so he just kind of jumped on the opportunity before they sent the subpoena to him. So hopefully these people agree to a voluntary interview. They come speak to the committee, and we can hear what they know about Epstein and his crimes.
So after that came out, okay, Nancy Mace said, hey, I like that list, but I would like to add some names to the list. 2 names that she added were Woody Harrelson, so also Richard Branson, and her last one, Sean Carter. I did a breaking video on it. You can check it out on podcast platforms or on the YouTube page on the video section. Jay-Z has been called to testify in the Epstein files. I couldn't get it into today's show. There's too much information. You can go and check that out. Okay. Moving on to more Epstein news. DOJ quietly deletes 47,000 Epstein files after promising full transparency. Justice Department officials quietly removed tens of thousands of Jeffrey Epstein case files from a public database, raising questions about the federal government's handling of one of the most scrutinized document releases in recent history. Links to thousands of records that were previously accessible on the Department of Justice website now returns page not found. According to CBS News, analysts say more than 47,000 files, roughly 65,500 pages, have been taken offline by late February as the documents reviewed and the materials. What is going on? What Congress and people have to go through to get these files? And every day this is taken down, that is taken down. Remember those 3 interviews with the woman who was accusing Donald Trump of the R word? Taken down. Pictures of Donald Trump somewhere? Taken down. Now we have close to 70,000 pages, 47,000 files just gone for what? It is literally crazy. And please do not forget, there's still 3 million files that we didn't get. Is it 3 or 6? Regardless, there's still a tranche of files that we still have not gotten. And like I always say, shout out to everybody who has done the work in Congress to get this out here. But I think the real files, the real meat and bones, where really people will go to jail, unfortunately, I don't think that we're ever going to see, because there's Republicans in there and there's Democrats, and they're not going to sink the entire ship. Because if you get rid of the Democrat Party and the Republican Party, what's left? Okay, let's go on to another news attached to the government. OpenAI uninstall surge by close to 300% after Pentagon deal. ChatGPT saw a sharp backlash after announcing its Pentagon deal. Uninstall jumped close to 300% above its normal 9% rate. Daily download growth fell 13%, and 1-star reviews spiked as of 800% on Saturday, then doubled again on Sunday. At the same time, another app started to climb 81%. Users are not just debating AI policy online, they're switching apps. Anybody who attaches themselves to this administration gets backlash. And there's also the fact that people feel if they're tied to the Pentagon, that the Pentagon and the government get access. But the government has access to all your stuff anyways, right? They could just call up Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or whatever at any time if there is anything that they really need to get to, okay? You just saw what the doorbell footage they got from Nancy Guthrie house. She didn't even have a subscription, and they were able to go and get stuff. So have no fear, y'all. Okay, we're gonna go to our last story. This is social discussion, and then I'm gonna come to the comment section. This is not anything political, but I really want to get your guys' opinion on this matter. Yesterday, I played something from Smoothie King. I see it's going viral out now. This is a very good discussion. A police officer pulls a black woman over for handing over a cup of coffee to her son, where he thinks there's some sort of shady deal going on. Look at her reaction, look at his reaction, and you let me know who you think was in the wrong. All right, let's go over to social discussion right now. All right, take a look at this video and let me know what y'all think.
Over in New Cumberland, right over there.
Dropping my son off?
Okay. What'd you hand off to the gentleman that walked back in the house?
His coffee cup.
His coffee cup?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm tired of him leaving his mess in my car.
Okay. All right. Do you have anything illegal in the car?
You want to search it?
I mean, if you want to let me search it.
Like, what do y'all think we did a transaction or something?
Well, that's what it looked like.
Because we're black?
No. I couldn't see in your car. Your window tints too dark.
Okay,
anyway.
so exactly. So, but it looked like we were doing a transaction.
Yeah, so you pulled up, he came out, you handed something to him, he walked back in the
No,
house.
you missed it.
We're not going to argue about it.
I came from this way, went around, took him home,
I saw where
dropped
you came
him
from.
off.
I saw where you came from.
And I dropped him off to his house.
Okay.
He left his cup here because I'm tired of his shit being in my car. I beeped the horn, gave him his cup.
Okay.
That's what happened.
Okay. Do you have anything illegal in the car?
No.
Okay. You don't have any crack?
I don't.
Weed?
Sir, I'm a fucking business owner, okay?
Okay.
I don't have no crack. I don't have no weed. I don't sell drugs, do drugs, no, none of that. It's not a question.
It was a question.
That's very derogatory for you to say. Probably because I'm black. He was a black man,
I already
and y'all
told you
think
that
it looked like we were selling drugs. No, because I'm highly upset that I feel offended. I know. Come on, what we doing here? What we doing?
Would you be willing to let me search your car?
No! For what?
Well, because it looked like you didn't transact back
I
there.
gave him a coffee cup.
Okay. What kind of coffee cup?
It was a white fucking coffee cup.
Why are you screaming?
Because I can't believe because you keep saying that we made a transaction.
And that's what it looked like. Okay?
Wow. That's not fair. That's not fair.
It's not fair. I'm sorry.
I know. And you police officers are horrible.
I'm horrible.
You
don't even
police
know me.
officers, sir. What we gonna do, sir?
So now you're grouping me into a group of people.
And
right?
you're grouping me into a group of people where it looked like I was doing a transaction.
You could have been Mexican. You could have been white. You could have been green. You could have been yellow.
And I'm black, and it looked like that I was making a transaction.
Okay. All right.
And now you being a police officer, you people are horrible.
10-4. 10-4. So you don't have anything in the car?
Sir, I don't have nothing in my car.
What's the name of the gentleman that you stopped with?
That's my son, Anthony.
The bigger guy.
Yes.
That's your son?
I'm 55 years old. I'll be 56 in February. What are we doing here, sir?
I'm asking.
All right, that's where the video ends, okay? I'm not too sure what happened after, but let's just deal with what we have seen. Now, the officer, I like his calm, cool, collective attitude. And I want to give him the benefit of the doubt that he didn't racially profile her. And if he's saying that he didn't see that she was black in the car, like, okay, but then you saw the sons because you saw the handoff. So that negates that. To me, where the profiling came from is when he asked her, do you have anything in the car? She said no. And then he asked her if she had any of the C word, which is typically for black people. So the fact that you're like, oh, you don't have any in the car? Like what? You don't got no rock in the car? That's when you know that was a racial profiling right there. Why are you gonna ask me if I got rock in the car, bro? You know what I'm saying? Hey, do you have any illegal substances in the car, man? You know what I'm saying? So right away there, you know she was racial profiled. But I also don't condone her attitude and the way she was speaking to the officer. I feel like police officers have a job to do. And their job is to protect the neighborhood, to be out there, to make sure that there's no crimes or anything going on. If you see something suspicious, they have a right to come, ask, question, ask for this, whatever, blah, 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 if they deem something is suspicious. That is the law. And I think that you should be respectful to police officers. And although I didn't like his question and I thought he profiled, I didn't think that her attitude and the way she was speaking and using the F word to a police officer, I don't condone that. I don't think that's the way you speak. And I condone, what I do condone is the officer not letting those words and her being offended. She was offended. That's why she started speaking that way. He did not allow her attitude and her offense to get him off of his game, and he just stayed cool. So I thought that was cool of him, but he definitely profiled her. That's just my opinion, all right? Okay, let's go over to comments. I'm excited to hear everything that we talked about today. We went a little long. My gosh, almost 1 hour. Let's go over to the comment section right now. All right, what up? Again, another record-breaking comments. Let's go. I'm going to do just like what I did yesterday. And we're going to start from the bottom because I want to hear what you guys thought of this video and if there's comments here. So the first one is from Tim. Tim said, whatever. Then we go to Alicia said she needs to be calm as well. Exactly. Totally agree. Melva said she eventually reached her boiling point based on how he was treating her. Exactly. But you could reach a boiling point, Melva, and not use the F word to a police officer. He did not boil up to her and he didn't use any profanity. So I don't think that she was justified in the profanity, but I understand her reasoning. You see, that's why it's a good discussion. What a stupid reason to pull somebody over. Totally agree. That's what Joseph said. Sunflower says, then he was totally gaslighting her into getting another charge. 100%. I agree with that. Somebody says basic training is physical. Not too sure what that is. That I don't respect. Another person says, we are loud. She was offended greatly. Another person, Skull, says, once again, where did it take place? I'm not too sure. If somebody maybe wants to Google and let me know. Sorry that I didn't get more information. I had a busy day and there was a lot of videos going on and I just saw this for the discussion. Because it's not so much like what happened after or not. It was more like, hey, this scenario, let's discuss it. Some say okay, I'm not going to read that. Somebody said I would be pissed off as well. Again, should she be pissed off? 1000%. That is so rude to ask that. But should you be offended and be pissed off and speak in the way she did and use the F word? Somebody says sickening. Please you like his calm. He was profiling and condescending to her. Somebody says, can you be trained for war? Another person says, if she was white, he wouldn't have asked where the rock is at. This is what I'm saying. This is Sunflower said that. Skull says, you know how many people say they have nothing in the vehicle and they lying? Okay. Ghost says it's a flex because the GBI officer, okay, whatever, I'm not reading that. Alice says they're trained to be calm. When he asked if she had word, Joyce says, why am I not surprised to see this? It happens to us almost every day, racial profiling. Totally agree. Mars says the Popo was in the wrong. He pulled her over for obviously nothing. Racism sucks, man. He can't do anything without getting in the way. Another person says, hope she made it home. I think she did. I'm pretty sure she did. That's why she's like, yo, what are we doing? Obviously, if he wanted to arrest her, obviously wanted to take her out, he would have already. So, I feel like he was just on the fence. And like somebody said, I feel like he was trying to gaslight her. My thing is, don't let people gaslight you. Don't let the police get you out off your game. Yes, officer. No, officer. Nope, I do not. And even say, like, why would you ask me that? 100%. Why would you ask me that? That is da-da-da. I just don't like the F-bombs. For me, that's just my opinion. And he is not even screaming, but calm as AF. Mishy says, nobody will ever get full disclosure with the Epstein files. Is just too damning to the elites. Another person said, I made a GBI. I think this is Ghost again. LRF says the problem from her is she maybe a kind of woman, but the reality of the police officer who got a call every few minutes is different. Not too sure what that means. Skull says, just curious, where did this take place? If it is a area where there's a lot of DRUGs, I don't know. Let me see if I could. Let me see. Hold up here. Okay, here. All right, here's some more information. Okay. Pennsylvania mother shared a concerning interaction with a local police officer after she was pulled over after she dropped off her son's coffee mug to him after he forgot it in the car. She shared the video of the interaction that occurred early January 2026 and her latest update. Good morning, Facebook family and friends. I want to truly say I appreciate each and every one of you who shared the comment of my horrible video of racial profiling in its fullest. I also want to let you all know I will take this all the way to the highest possible level that I can. I refuse to sit down and let this happen to me. And there will be repercussions. And I did not allow, here we go. Here's some info. And I did not allow him to search my car. Good for you. You want to search my car? Get a warrant, right? I did not give him my son's last name when the video ended. Good for you. I continued to fuss and cuss both of them out as well as my son did as well too. I did reach out to Fair County Township. However, the person I needed to speak to was out until Monday. Now Monday is a holiday, so we're going to see where this goes. I have to follow the proper steps, but just know that I'm not letting up. The crazy part about all of this is that he assumed what he thought, but again, because I was a Black woman, that was the only reason. I appreciate all of you for sharing, texting, and calling and commenting. It takes a village, and I appreciate my village. There you go. So it doesn't seem like she was arrested because she would have said she was arrested. She didn't let him search his car. She didn't give him his last name. So she stood her ground. Again, I just don't agree with the F-bombs. Somebody said, plead the fifth. Oh my gosh, outrageous. I'm going to come back down to the bottom to see what you guys say after I just read that more information. Somebody says, dumb ASS doesn't have anything to do. Tell her this to go to, I don't know what that is. That officer is a jerk like Trump. That's what Melva says. She should sue. It looks like she is going to sue. I don't know what her grounds could be for suing, though. Because if he didn't illegally search his car, if he didn't take her ID, if he didn't arrest her and he just let her drive, I don't know if there's grounds for profiling and thinking that she got rock in her car because she's Black. That would be hard to prove, me knowing my knowledge in court, but we shall see. I mean, honking them, handling someone through the car window can look like a deal is happening. Okay, so first of all, you can't just go up to somebody because they hand something off. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I go out my car and I just hand something off here, that's not reason to be thinking that there's a transaction going on, an illegal transaction going on. That's one. Two, if you want to come and like somebody says, we don't know the area, this or whatever. So if you want to come up to the car and just say, hey, ma'am, how are you? Yes, I'm officer so-and-so. Just have a couple of questions, something to look here, whatever, blah, blah. And she's like, no, it was a coffee. It should end there. Oh, it was a cup of coffee, ma'am? Okay, cool. And then if you want to say, by the way, do you have any illegal substances? Do you have anything? Okay, no, I do not. It should end there. But say, yo, you got any rock? Bro, that is crazy. You cannot ask somebody that. That is crazy. What are your grounds for asking me that. It's profiling, and it's plain as day. Now, can you prove that in a court of law? Can you prove that in a jury that asking that question, it was the only, you would have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he only asked that question because she was a black woman. It'd be hard to prove, but it's clear as day. Somebody said this is horrible. Another person says FF Republican Party has been the majority since Trump's first term. People want Epstein list released and those in it prosecuted. Stop whining about Obama and Biden and get it done. Mobile said, I hope so. Somebody says AI that sucks up all our water. What? Skull says, Mel, they were removed from the website for review, deleted, something. Hey, Katie, what's up? Says, I am good with the technology, but is there a master file that still has all of our data? Okay, I'm just going to scroll down to see if there's anything new about what I just read. Mars says, Crystal, yes. Saw the color of my skin and thought I was a criminal, but my answer scared him. Okay, we're going to get to what Mars is talking about in a second. By the way, what up, Crystal? What up, Mars? I'm sure Kim's in here too. What up, Out Louders? Kim, Katie, Andrew. Somebody said reasonable suspicion. Skull says reasonable suspicion. Come on, that's not fair. Crystal said, wow, Mars. No way, Mars. Really? Okay, we got to get to what Mars said so that we understand what. Okay, Mars says, I saw a girl get by a car. I was the only witness to talk to the cop. The first thing he said, don't worry about your criminal record. What? I yelled, I'm not a criminal. I'm a journalist. And he froze. Why would he say, don't worry about your criminal record? That's super weird. Roberta says she is correct. The intelligent guy said there was no imminent danger. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. So what happened to Janet Penn and the blah, blah, blah. Crystal said, I 100% understand why she was offended and agree. She had plenty of reason to be. She did yell, but when he asked her why she was yelling, but in her defense, she was probably shocked and offended, 1000%, but I'm not letting no officer get me off my game. No, sir. You're not going to get no excuses from me. Somebody said, okay, that's when you said, no way, Mars. And then she said, she said, yes, Crystal, saw the color of my skin and thought I was exactly, I read that already. Skull says, Trent, the issue is research before defending. It happened in Pennsylvania. That city has a massive uptick in DRUGs in the last decade. DRUG raid are finding Okay, sorry, Skull, thank you for your comment. But that is still profiling. I don't care if the area has a lot of DRUGs in there. I don't care. You can't just do that to somebody. And just because the area, you don't know the street or block she's on. So I have enough information to let me know. And like I said, again, if you want to come up and you want to ask some questions, the fact that he asked Rock is that's too far in my opinion. He wanted to search so he could planted in her car. Smart lady for refusing the search. They will plant some before they are, and they'll call it wrong. Who's stupid enough to let the cops have to tell a cop they have illegal substances in the car? Skull says, and handing somebody through a window in a heavy area, at least a stop and ask, and Rock in a heavy traffic area. Hey, Skull, that's your opinion. We just disagree with you, bro. All right. All right, let me move up and see what else is going on here. Let's see. What's going on here? Katie says, I think the officer was trying to wind her up. He was playing with her. Yep, exactly. Okay, I read all of this already. Let me get past this. Let me get onto some Trump stuff or some other things that we were talking about. I'm going to take a few here. Honking, then handing somebody something through the car window can look like a deal is happening. Okay, that's Skull. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. We're within technology again. The author says, if there was anything substantial, it would have been released 10 years ago. That's about the Epstein file. Why didn't Democrats bring up the files when they are in power? Every day somebody asks that. Thank you, Samuel, for your comment. But the answer is very clear. The Democrats are not going to bring up something on their own people. All right. We heard Bill Clinton in the deposition. We all know they're all guilty. So that's why they didn't bring it up. And the other reason why Trump brought it up is because he was forced to. For months, he campaigned saying that he was going to. Then they needed a law to be passed for him to put it out. You guys are acting as if like Donald Trump was just like, hey, now I'm president. Here's all the files. They did that. Remember when Pam Bondi said, I have all the files on my desk. They gave a binder of influencers nothing. There had to be passed a law that had to get through the House, the Senate, and Trump for this to come out. So don't act like Donald Trump put them out willingly, okay? Somebody says, delete, never to be seen again until very, very smart person. Melva said, who screenshot those files? Hold them. Crystal says, and regardless of what you are, Republican or Democrat or independent, be prepared and get out and vote. Love that. Mystery says, why are people getting the runaround in Dallas, the poll voting station? Something strange going on there. And I respect James for talking about that. Of course, Jasmine is going to talk about it. She lost, but I really thought James coming out and saying this voter suppression needs to stop. We need to address it, even though he won. Shout out to him, man. Love him for that. Holly Weird involved with Epstein is not surprising. Melva said Woody Harrelson. Yeah, was it Woody Harrelson? Hold on, let me check that. I know I said, I think I deleted it. Hold on 1 second. You know, it's so funny because when I said that, I was like, was I right? Was it Woody? Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me check for you, Melva. I don't want any misrepresentation going on around here. Okay, here. Woody Allen, not Woody Harrelson. Woody Harrelson's from Cheers. My bad. Woody Allen. Asterisk correction from 20 minutes ago. Nancy Mace said Woody Allen and Sean Carter. Okay. Only because of the pressures of the citizens. Mars says Trump planned to win the midterms by cheating people. Get ready to know where you need to vote. Dems are ready to be on the ground to direct people to voting stations. Love that, Mars. Skull says Trent is a typical lefty. No clue the way voting even works. All right. You know what? I love having a Republican here. Where's Derek? Where's Sparkle? So they could tell them that even though that they are very, very, very heavy Republican, they know I'm an independent. Derek came to the conclusion yesterday that I'm 45-55. All right. I'll take that. B. Ant says, never happened before in the US. Doom, the manager of the site, needs question asked. Question Jay-Z. LRF says, well, at least I know my German politics have the same behavior. Samuel says, state legislation has determined these things, including the allotted time to vote. Let's see what else is going on here. 7 p.m. is a cutoff for voting. Been that way for a while. Yes, Skull. But what about if there was problems and people turned away and you have a court order that's saying we're going to give them more time? This is a democracy. You don't want to give more people more time to vote? Come on now. All right, I'm going to go past the voting thing to go into some other subjects. Let's go to something from Joy. Joy says, think about it, though. This dude is mad at Patel for unnecessary use of dollars, but isn't he doing the same thing to redecorate that White House wing? And isn't that redecorating now on hold? Good point. Good point. Some points there. Kathy said, I love Jasmine Crockett. Melva said, protest for Michelle Obama to be president, then Barack Obama can be back in office with his wife. That's funny. Boom, boom, boom. Kristi Noem is talking bull. That's from Katie. Katie and Andrew. What up, what up, what up? Let's see here. Let's see some more Katie stuff. If you're going to travel, do it in style. What the U.S. citizens mean first. Okay, hey, if that's how you want your tax dollars paid, go for it. LF, let me be good. LRF says all the soldiers brought to war in Kuwait, Iran, Sudan, all meaningless if they not stand up for their action ordered by their criminal politicians. Melva says to save the American money for buying the plane. All right. We talked about Kristi. Let's get on to some other things here. What else did we talk about here? Let's see some Spain comments or maybe some. I really want to know what you guys thought about that video with Iran. All right, let's scroll up to see what you guys are thinking about the war here. Hold on. Here's a Spain thing. Spain trying to protect themselves from crazy Iran drones. Possibility. Mishy says, yes, I heard about Mr. T cutting off Spain. He nearly cut off the UK for trying not to laugh. Okay. What else here? Somebody said Trump is a traitor. China is a BRIC country, so is Iran. Let's see here. Sorry, guys. Just going to try to. There's a lot of comments. This literally would take me 3 hours to read all these comments. Just going to try to find some other things here. Somebody said, send Israel. Okay, we're not going to read that. I meant to say Trump is talking ish about Zelensky. Here, maybe this is good. Trump has just insecured all the tankers moving through the strait, and all tankers will be escorted to U.S. Navy. Trump received talking ish about Zelensky. I already read that. Hey, here's Gia. How was he anointed by Jesus? That's what I would like to know. When he clearly said the other day he's not even going to heaven. Really good point. Really love that point. Another person says Iran doesn't even. Okay, I'm going to read this. Iran, Russia, and China are shown how weak they are. Iran's weapons are Chinese and Russia weapons. The U.S. and Israel is destroying Iran. Thank you for that comment. U.S. has no strategy. That they thought they could drop all that steel and Iran would fold. Not. Totally agree with that. Iran military industry complex is controlled by the Iranian government. American military industrial complex is controlled by private companies whose top priority is shareholders. Cool. Let's see here. Oh, this is from Melva says, Donald Trump anointed by Jesus to show us how corrupt he has been and still is for sure. He is used to show Christians to prepare ourselves based on the evil that we must see. Chosen peeps prepare. That's funny. Mystery says Iran is getting military help either from China or Russia. Yeah, one of the videos said that. All right, so it looks like you guys are liking today's episode. We got some good. I feel like everybody is kind of feeling the first censorship in Israel to show the images that are going on there. You are definitely not getting the full picture of what's going on in the Middle East. Hold on, first censorship in Israel to show the images that is going on there. You are definitely not getting the full picture. Yeah, well, we're getting whatever we can, right? That's the whole point. That's why I'm working so hard trying to find things for you guys. Trump made fun of the Allied soldiers. He says they didn't fight the war previously. All right. Oh, here's something from Crystal. Crystal says, Trump is way too reckless and out of control. He is the biggest threat to this country. Why are people still blindly backing him? Okay, let me scroll to the top and see the beginning ones. Gia was saying, hey, Trent. Crystal was saying, hey, happy hump day. Mystery in the building. Gia says, I see the new style. We're going for more politics in the evening and more laid back, up-to-date celebrity news during the day. Is that what's going on? I like it. I can rock with it. You're very observant, Gia. You're very observant. Melva said, happy hump day. Bam, 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 bam. Crystal said, happy hump day to the out louders. Of course, Melva too said, what up, Trent? Okay, let's see what's going on here. Heather says, why are we still talking about effing Donald Trump? He brought her effing military over to Iran so that we can summon Jesus. Okay. Somebody says, screw the Israeli war, stay out, U.S. people. Okay. All right. Nothing really here. You guys just stating your opinions. All right. Good comments today. Good info. Hey, look at this. Got a super chat. Bam, 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 bam. Somebody said, Starmer ain't no Churchill. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you. Really appreciate you. Thank you. Crystal says, Gia, I think it's more quick entertainment news during the day. Yes, quick entertainment news during the day. And breaking news is a new thing that we started today. Thank you all for noticing. Then the lives are more breaking and hot news. It's just been politics lately because, there is something new every day. That's 100%. Thank you very much for reminding me about that, Crystal. Yes, so, yes, it's just this show, the afternoon live show, it's going to be around what's breaking and what's hot and what's going on right now. And, of course, this war is taking over everything. But, for example, like 2 weeks ago, it was Alex Purdy, Renee Good, et cetera, et cetera. It will be on what's breaking for sure. But yes, you're both right. All right. I think that's good. I'm just going to go to my sign out now. If anybody believes that the most technological advanced nation is shooting paintings, you be silly. Okay, Timothy, you don't believe that? That's cool. The U.S. will do anything to hide the Epstein file and change the topic. That is from Florence. All right, I'll read this last one, then I'll do my sign out. It will be like Ukraine-Russia attack. It will be like Ukraine-Russia attacking Ukraine. America attacking Iran. Davis versus Goliath. Exactly. All right, I'm glad we're all on the same page. Paper missiles, that is a new one on me. Whatever is next. All right, I'm going to go to my sign out. I want to try to make all the shows now an hour and a half. Again, sorry that I couldn't get to every single comment. Citizen Kane with a super chat always coming through. My R&B brethren over here. Trent, Citizen Kane is dropping those dollars today. I know Citizen Kane is always dropping those funds, yo. All right, guys, give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to do my sign out and I'll come back in for the last comments. I think there's probably some more comments about that police and that black woman. I will get to that. Let me do my sign out. I'll be back in the comment section in 1 second. Well, a little bit more than that, but I'll be right back. All right, y'all. Thank you. Thank you for a great show. Thank you for all the live comments. We're breaking numbers around here, and that's what I like to see. All right. Before I let you guys go, just want to remind you of 3 quick things. While we're on air, like Citizen Kane, you can give us a super chat. While we're off air and we post this video, feel free to give us a super thanks. You'll see those 3 little dots. We're in the comment section. You'll see some more options there. That's where the thanks button is if it's not right underneath the video for you. Also, do not forget to become an Out Louder today. If you're on YouTube, you'll see a join button or a membership tab. Sign up and be an Out Louder. That's another way to support the show. And lastly, the last thing I want to remind you is sign up for Aura today. Here is the QR code. Hold on, that QR code is not going to work because I have a comment highlighted. All right, there you go. There is a QR code to sign up for Aura or the link below. What is Aura for those of you who are For those of you who are new, Aura is an all-in-one digital security platform. You sign up, which is absolutely free. You put in your information. They will go on the dark web and find out if your social security number, your credit card, your phone number, your information is leaked out there. With a click of a button, they could take all that for free. If you get spam text messages, spam phone calls, emails, All of those things, you click one link and you lose all your information, or it can help get rid of all of that for you. Click the link, we'll walk you through. Absolutely free to keep yourself secure on the internet, whether you're shopping on Amazon or whether you're signing up to Netflix. It is dangerous. There's people that can get your information on the back end. Aura can help protect you. All right. Now, those are the 3 reminders. Now, I have 3 ways for you to keep up with the show that I would just like to tell you about, because some of y'all might not know. Now, for those of you who like to listen to shows like this, just want to let you know we are always on every single podcast platform. Just go to any pod site, type in Trent Out Loud. The show will pop up. Please do not forget to hit the follow and subscribe button when you are there so you can be notified every time we upload a new show. And we upload daily, our daily live show and our daily breaking news or quick entertainment news like Gia and Crystal were just talking about. All right, so make sure that you subscribe and follow my podcasters. Now, for those of you who are like me and you like video, please head on over to YouTube, type in Trent Out Loud. When the channel pops up, I'm going to need you to do 6 things. Please hit that subscribe button and also hit that like button. Also, if you see a hype button, please give me a hype. It's absolutely free. You only have a couple per week, so please save one for your favorite YouTube host, all right? Now, the third thing I'm going to need you to do is please comment underneath this video. I love all the live comments, but we all know that I love conversation and I want to continue the conversation after the live is done. So please try to comment. For those of you who do not want to comment or join in on a conversation, I don't want you to feel any pressure. But if you want to comment, you could just comment and let me know which city or country you're watching in. Every night before I go to bed, I look at all the comments, and I love to see how global this show is, okay? The fourth thing I need you guys to do is please try to share this YouTube channel. We are not here for a good time. We're here for a long time and a little bit of a good time. So we would like to help. We would love for you to help us grow this channel. Share it with your family, friends, and loved ones. Try to find some like-minded people. We want good Republican, Democrat, Nicki Minaj. Doesn't matter who you like, Jay-Z or whatever. We just want to have people that have opinions, and I want to talk about entertainment and political news. All right. Also, don't forget the Out Loud membership, and do not forget, please, to give back to your favorite YouTube host with super thanks and super chat, like my guy Citizen Kane does almost daily. Shout out to Citizen Kane. Now, the third way to keep up with the show is through streaming platforms. New for 2026. Yes, we podcast, video, and we stream now. So catch us live weekdays at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, or Kick. And like I said at the top of the show, if you're on YouTube, we have 2 streams. There is a mobile stream with a little mobile icon and an M in brackets. Use that for your phone, only your phone. TV and laptop, do not use the mobile stream. It will make me look this big on your laptop or your TV, all right? Leave mobile for mobile. Mobile, you can use either or, all right? So that's it. Stream, video, podcast. Now, for those of you who want to follow me outside of the show, I'm available on all social platforms. It's also the same handle, Trent Out Loud. And I'm the most active on Instagram. Speaking of Instagram, please follow me at the Trent Out Loud Show on the gram. That is when I'm able to connect with you in the morning, afternoon, and night, or on the weekends. It's an extension of the show. I could play a quick video, give you a quick take. You don't always have to wait till 5:30. The cool thing also, too, Instagram doesn't have as many restrictions as YouTube. We can play a lot more videos over there. So make sure you follow Instagram, the Trent Out Loud Show. All right. All right. Let's go back to the comment section and do some sign outs here. Let me scroll up a little bit here because I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Hold on. Citizen. I see Citizen. I just want to see if there's any updates on the mother that I may have missed. Hold on. He asked if she had a rock after she said she had nothing, but didn't ask about her business. Christine said that. Very good point. Mars says, Trent, the cop assumed I had charges just because I was black. He profiled. He felt so dumb after learning what I do and the fact that I was a law-abiding citizen. 0 record. I felt I tell that story all the time. Yeah, that is a crazy story, Mars. Sorry they had to go through that. Christine said, okay, yes, that. Skull says, I did the quick research and found all about it in 3 minutes. So did I, okay? And it never says that it was on a block where there was deals going on, okay, Skull? So stop it. Hey, at least you know the Dems are probably heavy in the Epstein files and the CIA. Yeah, everybody is. Joy says, hey, Kim, we love you, girl. Hang in there. And I'm sending prayers for your deliverance and peace. Hold on. Did I miss something from Kim? I didn't see Kim in here today. I guess maybe just because she's not here, so you guys are just seeing. Can you let me know? Can you let me know, Crystal, if Kim is okay? I don't know what Joy's comment there is about, so just fill me in. Or Joy, if you know, please let me know. Citizen says, what up, Out Louders? Skull says, the issue is when districts are redrawn, your voting location may change. From what I've heard, people didn't check where they're supposed to go vote. Okay, it's too late in the show. I can't argue with Skull anymore. Allen was always a suspect. Woody, yeah, Melva said Woody Allen makes sense. Sorry about that, Melva, and thank you for correcting me. That's what I love about Melva. Melva will always call me out. I love that. I'm not a, Skull said I'm not a Republican. Okay, Iran Supreme Leader. Okay, that's fine. Hey, citizen, how are you today? That's from Joy. I don't vote. All the machines are from Venezuela, and they are jinxed, allegedly. Israel decided everything a long time ago. For everybody, calm down. Mar said, hey, citizen. Melva said, I was wondering where Derek is tonight. He's entertaining. I know, right? Miss Derek. Hey, I don't know if I did this already, but citizen, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the super chat. All right. Here, Alicia said, Woody Harrelson is just too cool to rule. Crystal says, hey, citizen, I listened to those albums you sent. They are good, but honestly, I like CK1 better. It gives me Wu-Tang vibes. Crystal, citizen says, sup, Joy, just got out of work. It's almost Friday in Trent voice. You guys are hilarious. The White House redecoration is being by donation money and not tax money. So they say, but whatever, I digress. Actually, I said people's names are very symbolic. They will tell you before who to vote and who the person is. It shows Crockett. Joy says, Melva, we will keep praying for the Obamas to get back in the White House, but Michelle said, no way. Exactly. I played that video. Citizen said, Crystal, I appreciate you. Didn't they take out the ship the drones coming from? I think so. Did Jay-Z hang with Epstein? Well, Mars, we don't know if Jay-Z hung with Epstein. I don't think so, but he's in the FBI tip. It's like Bandit. You have the chief U.S. prosecutor. The war is totally insane. Trump has no plan to go in and help anybody. Crystal said, good question, Mars. I believe they have some videos on Jay with Epstein, right? I have not heard of that. Even like hanging out with him, like partying, I haven't heard of that. Actually says, whatever you call the ship is how it will sail. Skull says, upon, but yes. Okay, sorry, Skull. I have to be fair and not read any, like have to read other people's things here. Actually says, Verge, nothing has changed. The same regime is now headed by his nephew or whatever. He is related to 100%. Glad we got to do Operation Praying Mantis. Okay, sorry. Okay, Americans would be better off with Mark Carney as president. Citizen Kane, my gosh, Citizen Kane, my guy, coming through again with the super chat. Citizen ain't playing around, y'all. Thank you, Citizen. Trent, Citizen is dropping. Oh, did I read this already? Laugh out loud. We're not giving Mark Carney to the U.S. That's hilarious. Hold on. Where am I here? I think I scrolled up too high. Oh, no, I didn't read this. Great show again tonight. Mystery. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Trent, anytime you want to actually debate, I'm game. Just bring your receipts to back what you're saying, and I will too. Yeah, no problem. Trump is one of the trumpets spoken in the book of Revelation. Americans can be the first Canadian state. Trent, please shout out to Kim. She is listening but not commenting because she is dealing with something. Please, everybody, send her good vibes and love. Oh my gosh, Kim, I hope everything is good. Yeah, I didn't see, I always try to at least put one of your comments out here, if not more. Shout out to Kim. Shout out to Kim. Hold on. We need to give Kim. These are my good vibes and my prayers, okay, Kim? We love you. The Outlouders love you, man. Whatever it is you're dealing with, we got you. We got you. Melva is laughing. Delete me is better. Shout out to Kim, sending much love and good vibes. All right. Hey, where's the professor? Hey, everybody listening but driving. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. What happened to Kim? She's okay. She's just dealing with something. Crystal said Kim needs our prayers today. All right. Yes, Joy, I got that now. Thank you, Joy. She's going through something. We got to support our girl. Yes. Trent, I already posted to you what's up with her. Okay, thank you. The professor says, I'm sending all my prayers all her way. I'm so sad. I'm sending all my love and prayers to Kim. Hey, Melva. Thank you, Melva. Another hot show, Trent. Love it. Thank you, Melva. And as always, Melva, thank you for being an OG out louder, man, before the hype. Shout out to Melva. Love. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Yes. Citizen. Crystal says, I posted a couple of times something about Kim, but you skipped over it. Sorry. Listen, there was hundreds and hundreds of comments. It's impossible for me to sit here and read through all of them when they're this busy, but I'll always get them at the end. And I think it's better that I go at the end now instead of going all the way to the top, because I go to the top. It's a story that you guys commented on like 40 minutes ago. So you're not in that vibe anymore. So I'm going to go from the bottom and talk about the last thing we just talked about, because you guys are literally just talking about that and engaging. And I'll try to go up as we go. I hope you guys like that new method. The prosecutor professor said, Citizen Kane, I typed the, I don't know what that word is, and your contact came up. Wow, I'm fancy today. Melva said, all the best to Kim. Everyone sending you prayers, Kim. Look at all this. Blessings to you. Oh, this is Nora Phillips. Hi, blessings to you. Great day. Thank you very much. God, comfort, peace, and direction to Kim. Look at that. That's Jane. Look at all this love, Kim, from Jane, from Citizen. Citizen again. And then from Katie. Katie says, Kim, my thoughts to you. And from my thoughts to you, and from Andrew XXX. Shout out to Andrew and Katie, UK. Guys, thank you for an amazing show. Thank you for tuning in. And I think we should leave it off by saying peace and blessings and prayers to Kim, because that's what she always says to us before she signs out. So Kim, I hope we see you tomorrow. And even if not, we'll send you peace and blessings. Come back whenever you can. We love you. Stay strong. Peace and blessings to Kim. Love y'all. Thank you. Oh, let's not forget Mars. Mars has a peace and prayers for Kim. All right, y'all. I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, tomorrow, Friday Eve. Love y'all. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Turn Out Loud. Peace.